With the media ripping President Trump for crises that stretch from Washington to Wall Street, I spoke moments ago with Bill Bennett, the former cabinet official, host of the Bill Bennett podcast on iTunes, and author of the new book, The True St. Nicholas, Why He Matters to Christmas. Bill Bennett, welcome.
Thank you.
Here's the media narrative. An unnecessary government shutdown, disastrous Syrian pullout. Jim Mattis was the last adult in the room. Wall Street is plummeting. Complete and utter chaos, and it's all Donald Trump's fault. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he's the President of the United States, and he's going to attract a lot of attention. But this is a guy who paints in very bold strokes. You could get another president doing the same things, but it wouldn't be done in the Trump style.
The Trump style being?
Direct, bold, straightforward, in your face. That's it.
Also, at the center of things, the stories tend to be about him.
Yes.
Both that's partially the media, and that's partially the way the president tweets and invites all that coverage.
Yeah, and I don't want to limit my time and end my segment right away, but they hate Trump. I mean, Trump is the focus. A lot of these guys want to get Trump. I mean, they just don't like him. They'll look at any reason. Let's take one of those pieces, the general. I'm sorry to see Mattis go. I really am sorry to see Mattis go. But I remember all the headlines about too many generals. He was hiring too many generals.
Right.
Oh, one's leaving now, so maybe that, actually two have left.
Well, let's stay with that for a second, because Jim Mattis has served his country well in Afghanistan and Iraq and at the White House. But as somebody who has held a cabinet-level post, is the press overplaying the importance of one secretary here?
They are.
Even though Mattis played a vital role.
They are indeed. And you serve at the pleasure of the president. And, you always got to remind yourself of that. I remember making calls a couple of times. I was the Secretary of Education and Drugs are. And I get a call from the Chief of Staff about being unhappy. I said, how unhappy is he? If he's really unhappy, I will go. But, Donald Trump is the center of conversation, not just here in Washington. It's really interesting. He's the center of conversation all over the country. He's leads every parade. I mean, there are conversations at Thanksgiving dinner. People talk about we're having no politics discussion zone. I've never seen anything like it.
Right. It does seem to sort of dominate every aspect of American life. But when the president abruptly changes course or does something about telling his aides or blindsides his allies, does that add to the sense that everything is about him? In other words, does he have some responsibility here, even if the press is over-dramatizing it at all, for the sense that right now Washington is rattled?
Yes, of course he does, because that's the way he acts, and he acts in this very direct and forceful way, this bold colors way. He doesn't lead in, he doesn't prevaricate, he says what he thinks. What's that line from Coriolanus? I will go to them most counterfeitly. He doesn't go to the public most counterfeitly, he goes quite directly. And the things he does are sudden strikes. But remember just how large he looms, not just in the minds of the American people, but the media, who are both exhausted, by his pace.
Right, because 6 in the morning the tweets start.
Yeah, I love our White House correspondent at Fox, John Roberts. John Roberts, who always looks like he's working an 18-hour day.
Probably
that's because Trump is working an 18-hour day. The guy is indefatigable. He's strong. He's direct. No matter what his politics, he would draw a lot of attention. But all the anger has to do with the fact that he's Donald Trump.
But as you were just sort of hinting at, it goes well beyond the world of politics to the world of culture. So you have Trump versus the NFL. You have Trump versus SNL. You have Trump versus social media, Trump versus Hollywood celebrities. Have we ever had a president more at the center of every single political and cultural conversation? And can that be wearying on the public?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. Wearing or weary. Yeah. Is there a subject in which he has no interest? Is there a subject in which he is not prepared to declaim? Maybe not. Look, he's an interested consumer of the culture. But what he's doing is he's acting more like a regular person than we're used to presidents acting, with scripts and with people explaining it and with very careful language. He talks like someone in your family would talk. I don't like what they're doing in the NFL. I like that song. Why'd they take that sitcom off TV?
And then the press jumps in and says, okay, he's not getting the nuance and he overstated this and this is off. But that's part of his appeal, I often try to remind people, the way that he talks. But he also is not just a voracious consumer of media coverage. He cares a lot about television. And I mean, the presidents that you work for, do you think they were spending as much time focusing on how they were being played in the media?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't cater to the press. I guess he canceled the White House press party this
Yes.
year. He doesn't
People
go,
thought that was fine.
He doesn't go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think that's great because he doesn't cater to them. He knows they know he doesn't like them. He knows they don't like him. But you're right. No, he's a huge cultural figure, and not just here, but around the world. These conversations take
Absolutely.
place about Donald Trump. Better known than Nike, I was told the other day.
During this partial government
McDonald's.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's head spinning.
Yeah.
During this partial government shutdown, Washington Post headline, one among many, Limbaugh and Coulter blamed for Trump's shutdown. Suddenly, conservative commentators, of which you have been one, you're an author, you hosted a radio show, have so much power they can tell the president what to do in this new meme because they objected to the initial compromise that would have averted a shutdown, but also had zero funding for the border wall.
Yeah, well, look,
Are they that powerful?
They're powerful. He listens to people whom he likes and who have generally agreed with him, and that's perfectly fine, but he makes his own decision. Press needs to make up its mind here. Is it Limbaugh? Is it Ann Coulter? Is it Laura Ingraham? Or is it Donald Trump? Well, maybe there are a lot of conservatives with opinions and strong opinions, but we've never had a president like him, and for all those who complain for years after year in the press that it's too staged, it's too phony, it's too artificial. This is not an artificial presidency.
Last question, I've got about half a minute. You said a moment ago that he does not like the press does not like Donald Trump. Is there a level on which that is not a good thing for the country, this constant warfare?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think this it seeps through the air vents. It troubles people, but at the end of the day, what matters to people is whether things get done, whether their individual lives are better, and I think he's making a very good case on that front. So we'll see. American people can stand a lot more than people think. We're not delicate flowers. We can handle it.
No delicate flower here. Bill Bennett, thanks very much for a great conversation.
Thank you,
Merry
Howard.
Christmas.
Thank you.